have you had a fantastic week? And you're looking forward to the weekend. Some of you will be working on the weekend, I'm sure, but maybe you'll have a little bit of time down and you can have a little bit of a practice with some of the things I'll show you today. So welcome to Breakfast with Dr. J. Thanks for joining me this morning, 8:30 on a Saturday. So when you do pop on, please say hello. I'd like to know who's on there today. Sometimes you just see a little number and I don't know who you are. So say something in the comments and we can say g'day. Ask some questions as we go through everything today, because today's a big topic. Today's raising the bar to succeed. What does success mean? Well, we'll come to that when a few more people pop on this morning. So good morning. Hey Tim, how you going, my friend? Hope you have a good week. Haven't chatted for a while. Maybe we should have a chin wag after we finish today. So what have you been getting up to today? Are you having a coffee? Well, I have my coffee. While we'll wait for a few people to pop on. My Saturday morning coffee with you guys is always one of my favourite things. Did a fair bit of prep for this. It's not going to be too long today, but I'd like you to take some notes. So get your trusty pen out, because I want to share with you some things over the years that I found that works. And I found that a lot of people have become a little bit flat and stale. If that's you, just put a thumbs up. Well, if that's not you, it's irrelevant, isn't it? But I'm finding some people do get into a place where they stall, are just getting small wins, which are always good, but are not having that feeling of success, fulfillment, because success is nothing but a feeling of fulfillment, getting the feelings you want to have on a more regular basis. So if they're not as regular, some of these things might help you this morning. When it comes down to this word of success, the only way that we can actually have success is having things that we're striving to feel regularly. Not things to do, things that you will do that will help you feel a certain way. We're all driven by the feelings that we have in our head. We are our thoughts, aren't we? So I'm going to give you some ideas on your personal and your professional goals. And the only way to really achieve anything is take yourself to the limit, but always raising the bar. Just reminded last night when I was watching good old Bruce Lee, is when you actually are in martial arts, and I'm sure many of you have done martial arts in the past, you've always got to aim behind the target, not to hit the target. And many of the time we actually go to hit the target and we feel a little bit, it didn't work, or we didn't actually achieve what we achieved. So if you're going to raise the bar, always make sure that you have something that's huge, an all big, audacious goal, or so to speak. And if you just achieve the goal, that's good. But raising the bar is an important strategy to make sure that in business and in personal and your health, or whatever you have is important to you, is that you start to drive. If you don't raise the bar and you just stay the same, you're not staying the same, you're going backwards. There's no such thing as staying the same. If you're on an escalator going up and you're not, that's great. But if you're just going down by one step, you're staying in the same spot. I know a lot of people that stay the same and they're going backwards, but they don't know they're going backwards until it's too late. It's absolutely essential. We're continually wanting to reinvent yourself, your business, on a regular basis. Because if you're not continually raising the bar, raising your standards, you sales guys out there, how are you raising the bar? Are you actually accepting what you've always done, like 10 contacts per day or 5 appointments booked, to say, that's what my goal is? Well, that should be a bare ass minimum. The people that I see that are succeeding are doing more and achieving more by raising the bar and having a measurable component. If you're not measuring it, you're not going to raise the bar. Are you having more time off with the kids and your family? Well, measure it. If you don't raise the bar, you're going to become a thing called stale. And some people say, I'm quite comfortable about that. Well, this is not for you. But for those of you that really want to succeed and having that a feeling of fulfillment regularly, raising the bar is critical, firstly for you personally, and also for you, the people that will benefit from that too. So how are you raising the bar? Are you raising your bar personally? Terrific. It might be in your health, it might be your fitness, it might be your learning. But is it written down? Has a measurable component in it? And if it's not a measurable, as I said earlier, it's not actually raising the bar. I'll get up earlier in the morning. Okay, terrific. How much earlier? And all of a sudden, my last point today is that we always let ourselves down more often than anyone else on the planet. I'm sure you'll agree with me with that one. How many times have you let yourself down because of your work or your friends and your family? Oh, well, I'll go without, or I won't do that. We'll do this for the work or the family member or buddy. So, just want to give you a quote that I live by. What you accept becomes the standard. It's what you accept becomes the standard. What are you accepting? Oh, I've had people that are accepting less than their standard. And they're not raising the bar, their bar is going down. Oh, well, it's not as, fruitful right now. At times are a bit tough. Well, they've lowered the standard. They've not raised the bar. And I just want to wave a big red flag. Don't avoid at all costs lowering your standards. Now, sure, an outcome might be reduced, but don't lower your standards. Lowering your standards means that what you accept on the low end will be the standard. And if you say, well, hang on a tick, I'm going to continue with that on an ongoing basis, that's going to create frustration, disappointment, and you become stale. So, one of the things that gets in the way is people become very unresourceful. Write this word down, resourcefulness. How resourceful are you? Are you a type of person that says, oh, I'm in a place where I don't know what to do? Do you get resourceful? And do you check that what you're going to do is going to work, or you just shoot from the hip? Resourcefulness has to be combined with another thing. Resourcefulness and confirmation. Now, sometimes you might not have time to get resourceful and confirm, but I suggest you get resourceful and just confirm it's going to be something that could possibly work. Possibly, not probably, but possibly, but just confirm it will. Shooting from the hip will get you sometimes in a big mistake action, when all of a sudden all the mistake actions taking place is going to get you to go backwards. Next thing is, I want to get you to write these things down. Plan, set actions, timeframes, and measure. Have a plan, have action steps, have timeframes, and measure. If you're going to raise the bar, this is the action. So you need to have a plan. You're going to set the actions, and then you're going to set timeframes. Timeframes are critical if you're going to raise the bar. If you don't raise the bar and you don't set a timeframe, it could be in 3 years' time. Well, have a measurable outcome in a timeframe. Recommendation, make them short timeframes. Usually with progressive things, it's a 2-week measure. After 2 weeks, you can measure to see if things are getting better. If it's in your eating and want to lose weight, it's usually in about 2 weeks you'll start to say, oh, that's feeling a bit better. If you start doing a few extra calls or getting a few more appointments for 2 weeks, you can see if it's getting better. It's usually when you come back from holidays and you've got no leads and you've got to start from scratch. It's usually about 2 weeks that you can start to measure. So don't give yourself a hard time after 1 day, but if you've got to raise the bar, and I was talking to a few salespeople and looking at some people's sales results, and some of the people that we have just made some inquiries with, as I'm seeing what they've been doing. They're doing what they've always done, and it's got lower. So how are you raising the bar here? The number of contacts per day has dropped and is not even being measured. It's the number of people that they're having appointments with on a daily basis has reduced. They have said there are less people out there that want their product or service. So, well, hang on a tick, how are you presenting it? They didn't go outside the box. They didn't become resourceful. They didn't have a plan. There was no action steps and no timeframes. So what happened? The result actually went backwards. Now they're in a position where, well, they didn't have JobKeeper, they'd be in a bit of strife. Set the standard. And you've got to make sure, in sales in particular, and in most things, you've got to raise the bar. It's not a time to do less. It's a time to do more, better. Now, we could say, oh, we should do less and just be more, delegate and so forth. But sometimes you've just got to do a bit more. Come on. There's no time in my working existence that I haven't had to work harder or actually do things a little bit differently, learn more, and execute more effectively. It's the time to actually raise the bar and work harder. Get a bit more resourceful, get some initiative, reach out for help. And a lot of people just sit and say, oh, well, it's okay. If you're working for a boss and you don't reach your target or your goals, and you just send them your information and say, oh, sorry, didn't make it this week. Hang on a tick, that's your scorecard. There's got to be a bit of humility there. Put your hand up for help. Sorry, I didn't make it. What can I do better? Raise the standard. Raise the bar for yourself. Take responsibility. Take responsibility to reach out. If you're a solo warrior or you're an owner, go to someone else that's doing better. Raise the standard. Now, if you're doing well, always get better. Better service, customer care. What are you going to do to raise the standard? So, let me give you some ideas here. Choose the right reasons to take action. Now, as I said, always measure things, but always link the outcome to a feeling. Please write that down. Always measure the outcome to a feeling. If you measure it to have a measurement that links to a feeling, you'll actually be driven much more effectively. If it's just an outcome, there's no feeling of satisfaction, pride, or whatever it may be, you more than likely won't do it. And what are the ramifications if you don't? Now, if there's no ramifications, then guess what? You may as well not raise the bar. If you raise the bar, there's got to be some ramifications for yourself personally or your business. How would that make you feel? I'll be disappointed. Well, how disappointed would you feel? I'll be devastated. Well, if it's devastation, raise the bar. Hold yourself accountable. And more importantly, what will it mean to you if you achieved it? Yeah. What would it mean to you? You say, be proud. Well, say, how would you celebrate that? Now, have the reasons to raise the bar. Not, raise the bar, make more money. Okay, that's all good. But let's make it more significant, because if you don't, it won't get done. If there's no ramifications, if there's no feeling of disappointment, embarrassment, or it could be, I don't have excitement, enthusiastically going to celebrate, then raising the bar of that activity or outcome is a waste of time. So I really want to put this into perspective for you. What are the ramifications to you if you don't raise the bar in certain things, in your sales, in your marketing, in your personal health, your eating, your exercise? What are the ramifications? And if there are low ramifications and there are no ramifications, or you don't care about them, then we're talking about the wrong thing. But pick the thing that you want to raise the bar in to make sure that you are able to keep up in your business sales. Make sure that you're becoming innovative, raise the bar, become more digitally orientated if you can, clean up a few things. And if you don't do it, what are the ramifications? You say, oh, we'll be in a lot of strife. Well, what sort of strife? Bang, let's do this. Have a plan. Then make sure that you execute the plan with a time frame and have it measurable. Now, why is resetting your standards and what work? What does it work? Firstly, as I said earlier, is what you accept becomes the standards. Now, if you don't reset your standards, they're going to go backwards. And if the way to do this, and let me just tell you, I've tried lots of different ways, but the only way I have found that has been successful for me and a few of my close buddies is to make sure you surround yourself with people that have initiative, on the same page, and care. You want to surround yourself with people. one or two people that have some initiative, some drive, that will have I'll do whatever it takes attitude to make sure that you raise the bar to achieve the goal, and you can celebrate it together. Now, you can do it yourself, I get it. But it's much, much harder to do it all by yourself. So raise the bar. Make sure that you surround yourself with people that have initiative, that want to become better with you, arrive together. Or have a celebration with your partner, with your family, with some of your work colleagues. And if it's in work, raising the bar and smashing your target and so forth. And we've had some significant successes in our Sales Authority Club just in the last month. People smashing targets, all-time best. And you know what the common denominator was? They all raised the bar in their practice, their drill, rehearsing. And they had a goal that they were all going to achieve. And it wasn't up to the manager. It was the team members that said, yes, we're going to do it. We had one of our guy who is an entrepreneur, has his own business. He actually raised the bar to do things a bit differently. And guess what? He's booked more opportunities and he's made more sales because he raised the bar. It's really been inspiring to see what they've achieved. But I want everybody to achieve that. Everyone that's in the Sales Success Club here, and also in our Sales Authority Club, where we meet up regularly and do training. And I thought that's why I'm giving you a little bit of a chat today about raising the bar. Now, something that's why it works. When you have an achievable goal that extends you a little bit, don't have a goal that's easy to get to. That's not a goal. That's just doing the same old. You say, oh, I should have raised the bar a while ago. We should always do X more calls, more contacts, more sales, more yield. Oh, we should have done that a while ago. Let's put it up. It's easy to achieve. That's not going to give you the fulfillment that this whole thing's all about. So raise the bar to somewhere that's going to push you. And then you have a celebration. And what does it mean to you emotionally? I always find it's do more, do it differently, and make some changes. I'll say that again. Do more. Do more. Next thing is, do it differently. If you're doing it a little bit differently, you're going to raise your standard, raise the outcome. You maybe learn something, do it differently, implement. So do more, do differently, or change. What's that mean? Well, if you've got people around you that are not on the same page, they haven't got initiative, not driving and wanting to strive for more, then you either change the way you're coaching them, or you might need to change your people. The attitude needs to change, or you might need to change your people, or your attitude might need to change, and you might have to change your goal. So I'll say those again. Do more. Do it differently. Change or change. These are ways to actually making sure that I know that resetting your standards to raise the bar does work. It's not easy to do alone. It is harder to do by yourself. But I strongly recommend this weekend you sit down, you say, what am I going to raise the bar to a goal that's going to stretch me, an activity which is going to have a measurable thing that will give me a feeling. And what are the ramifications if I don't do it? Who am I surrounding myself with that are on the same page? It's going to drive, have initiative, just do more. Don't just accept the status quo. Or maybe even failing and saying it's okay, we'll start again next week. Oh, it's the 1st of August, we can start again. That's okay, we failed. Okay, well, we can't get back yesterday. All good. Every day so sales is a new day. That's a good mindset to have. But let's not fail or only reach our budget, not get our target next month. Remember, when a business is doing well, everyone is going to benefit. If you're working for somebody, raise the bar. Help the business do well. The business will look after you. If you're the owner of the business, do the same. Okay, last couple of things. How can you stop letting yourself down? This is something that has come up this week in particular. I'm finding a lot of great people are so giving of their time, of their experience, but they're not looking after number one. What are you doing? Are you looking after number one? Give us a thumbs up if you are. Give us a sad face if you're not. If you're not looking after number one, this is if you haven't got number one looked after, who's going to look after number one? Because let's face it, we're all in here by ourselves. As what we think about most we become, and what we think about most we attract. So I'm going to ask you, if you're going to stop letting yourself down, set the plan, like I said before, get that plan, set the activities, then make it have time frames and measurable to a feeling, and share it. Share it. Surround yourself with those people that are on the same page. Set those targets for your sales, for your marketing, for your personal health, and share the activity. Make sure, and I want you to make sure there are ramifications. And I need you to be strong with those ramifications. Don't have a wishy-washy ramification. Look, I've been guilty in the past. I'll give myself a small ramification. Oh well, it's not going to be too bad. Or I have avoided upsetting somebody by calling a straight line. Yeah, I should go boom. Back in the 80s, we used to be brutal with that sort of stuff. But you don't do it anymore, do you? Obviously, you've got to be kind and keep people feelings in place. And remember, everybody has stuff going on in their life. But there's a bit of a but there. Set and share the ramifications. Some of the ramifications could be quite dire. It's not a threat. It's just what will happen. But let's avoid that at all cost, and because that will be sad. I'd make me sad. I'd be excited. We'll all succeed by doing this. Are we on the same page? Raise the bar, go for gold with someone, all the people around you, whether it's a family or whether if it's with work. Be clear on what you're wanting to achieve. Be really clear. Clarity here with a fuzzy. Oh, let's just go away. Well, hang on a tick. That's not clarity. Clarity in business, in budget and target. Be clear on the numbers, the gross value, the percentages, or the number of contacts and appointments you want per day, the number of sales you want per month. Be very clear, and don't whinge about it if it's been achieved at the end of the month. You should be checking that every day, that we said a couple of weeks ago. Make sure you tell people. It's always easier to do it with people around you. Confirm you know how to do the thing. Don't just wing it. If you're going to raise the bar and you want to stop letting yourself down, confirm you know how to do it. And then you just share the outcome with somebody else and go along with the ride. Sometimes having someone just being a little bit of a reminder. I don't want to be embarrassed and say I haven't done it twice. Good grief. What happens if he calls me tomorrow? Oh, sometimes you need that. Sometimes you need it. I know I do. I've got 2 people that give me a buzz to see how I'm going just because they care. And if I haven't done it, come on, mate, do the damage. Who's that person for you? If you haven't got one, find one. All right, a couple of little things before I wrap up. The last few weeks, it's been quite apparent with people outside of our circle, and I've been watching from afar. There's a thing called ego that's coming along. Was I know syndrome. I know that, or I've always done this, and they have no initiative. They're not raising the bar. They're going backwards, but they're not open for help. If that's happening to you, just take off the ego hat and say, hey, this is not working. Hands up. Who's doing it better? Set a ramifications. If you don't, set the plan, set the time frame, link it to a feeling, and ask for some help. Get rid of the ego hat. It does you no good. I got rid of mine years ago. What are you going to do to make sure you don't let yourself down? Because it's a secret in here. If we just keep it as a secret and we don't do it, then we'll just feel disappointed. No one will know. No, share it. Share the burden. Share the excitement and celebration. This is the reason we let ourselves down. Other people will make sure that you get the things done so you don't let yourself down because they care like you care when you do things for other people. Share it and tell them how important it is. Next thing is, tell someone who cares, but that will hold you accountable. Yeah, someone that will be on your case on that time frame with that measurable outcome to make sure you have the feeling you desire. So, in summary, you want to raise the bar to have success. You must always have a plan to raise the bar for personal and professional things. Make sure that you use the plan, set action steps, time frames, and have a measurement that links to a feeling. Choose the right reasons to raise the bar. Make sure there is a ramification and there is a strong excitement or a good feeling. And make sure that you always reset the bar with people. Let people know. Hold yourself accountable. Share the ramifications. Be strong on it. But more importantly, be clear on what you want to achieve. And make sure that completion means a lot to you. You can take your people with you. Remember this little saying. It's pretty easy. What you accept becomes the standard. If your standards are the same, that's fine. If they've dropped and you're okay with that, that's good. But if you want to raise the bar, make sure that the standards you achieve are the things that make you happy, proud. All right. So we've got a few people on board. If you've got a question or two, I'll always wait for that delay. I know there's a little delay there. If you've got a question or two, just whack them in a little box there in the comments or whatever, and I'll answer them for you. Have a sip of my coffee while we'll wait. Cheers. Any little tip, doesn't have to be on topic, could be off topic. If you'd like to have a little chin wag down the bottom, just pop it in the comments. It does take a little bit of a delay these days on Facebook, but if nothing comes through in the next, say, 10 to 15 seconds, we will say ta-ta, and I hope you have a fantastic weekend. So if you've got a question, pop it down the bottom there. I'll have a little bit of a chat with you. So I wonder what you're going to raise the bar. Raw recommendation is you only raise the bar of things that you can raise the bar on. It's no good trying to raise the bar on something you have no control over. That happened to me, or not me, one of our clients around about 3 weeks ago. All right, no question this morning. That's okay. Okay, my pleasure, John. What are you going to raise the bar in? Why don't you put it in the comments? What are you going to raise the bar in for you? What are you going to do for you? What are you going to raise the bar, professionally or personally? Just type something in. Comments. What are you going to raise the bar in? Who are you going to tell? Don't have to say that, but just say, what are you going to raise the bar in? Because if you're going to raise the bar and make sure you have a success barometer, it makes a big difference. It gets exciting. So what are you going to raise the bar in? If you've got something in mind, type it in the comments, because I'd love to see what that is, and then share it with a buddy and hold yourself accountable. Make sure that when you achieve it, you have a feeling and you're clear on what that feeling is. All right, gang. Have a great weekend. Hope the weather's fantastic in your neck of the woods. Hope you're safe. Look after yourself. Eat well. Keep that immune system nice and high. I think that's a good way of living anyway, isn't it? Okay, guys. Thanks for joining me this morning. We'll talk to you soon. Bye for now.